Hello, my dear children. Children, in the class today, we are going to study elastic collision in one dimension. Children, we have already had the overview of collision. Collisions are of three types. Number one is elastic collision, the second one is inelastic collision, and the third one is perfectly inelastic collision. And the topic of the day is elastic collision in one dimension. Well, children, let us see here the situation. These are two masses m1, m2. They are moving over smooth horizontal surface. Mass m1 has velocity u1 and mass 2 has velocity u2. And this is the state of affair before collision. This is the state of affair before collision. This mass is moving with velocity u1 and this mass is velocity u2, and this u1 is greater than u2. They collide elastically. This one hits this mass from behind elastically. And what happens? Finally, both the masses have velocities v1 and v2. Well, all the velocities here are taken towards right. Therefore, all are given here positive sign. In practical situation, if any of these velocities are along a negative x-axis, that velocity would be substituted with negative sign in the mathematical workout which we are going to discuss right now. Velocity u1 is greater than u2 before collision, and velocity v2 is always greater than v1. Well, what is the velocity of approach? What is the speed of approach? Or what is the relative velocity before collision? That relative velocity before collision is going to be u1 minus u2. And what is relative velocity after collision? That is going to be v2 minus v1. This is velocity of separation. This is velocity of approach. Well, we know that in all type of collisions, law of conservation of linear momentum holds true. So, if we apply law of conservation of linear momentum, we equate momentum before collision with momentum after collision. Momentum before collision is m1 u1 plus m2 u2, and momentum after collision is m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So, this is say equation number 1. And this is one relation between v1 and v2. Well, for elastic collision, we already know that the coefficient of restitution is 1. Well, this coefficient of restitution is the ratio of speed of separation to speed of approach. Speed of separation is v2 minus v1 and speed of approach is u1 minus u2. That ratio is equal to 1. This simply means what? u1 minus u2 is going to be v2 minus v1, cross multiply. Now, if we solve 1 and 2, for v1 and v2, these are two equations and there are two variables, and these two variables are v1 and v2, the final velocities after collision of both the masses. So, if we solve 1 and 2 for v1 and v2, what do we get? We get v1 as 2m2 u2 plus u1 times m1 minus m2 upon m1 plus m2, and we get v2. This v2 comes out to be 2m1 u1 plus u2 times m2 minus m1 upon m1 plus m2. So, these are velocities of both the masses after collision. Children, there are three situations which I am going to discuss now. Situation 1 is equal masses. If the bodies of equal masses collide elastically, then what happens? Let us know from these equations. Well, if the masses are equal, m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m. Let us substitute m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m here in these two equations. So what do we get? V1 If we substitute m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m, what do we get? 2mu2. This is 2mu2. And the second term is u1 in bracket m minus m. Since the masses are equal, therefore this difference is going to be what? 0. And denominator is going to be m1 plus m2 is going to be what? 2m. We can see that this 2m cancels out, and what do we get? V1 is equal to u2. Very, very important result. Likewise, in this equation, if we write m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m, what do we get? We get V2 is equal to what? V2 is equal to u1. V2 is equal to u1. See, this difference comes out to be 0. m1 plus m2 is 2m, and this 2m cancels out. V2 is equal to u1. So what is the meaning of these mathematical expressions? V1 is equal to u2 or V2 is equal to u1. This simply means velocity, final velocity of object number 1 is same as initial velocity of object number 2, and final velocity of object number 2 is same as initial velocity of object number 1. This simply means the velocities are exchanged. Velocities are exchanged or interchanged. Velocities are exchanged or interchanged. So what is the conclusion? If two equal masses collide elastically in one dimension, then after collision they interchange their velocity. They exchange their velocities. Final velocity of one is same as the initial velocity of the second object, and final velocity of 2 is same as the initial velocity of the object number 1. Let us understand it further with the help of some very specific examples. Let us see. Yeah, these are two masses A and B, equal masses. Remember, these are equal masses A and B. If this one is moving with the velocity of 5 meter per second, this one is moving with the velocity of 3 meter per second, then what is going to happen after collision? They are going to exchange their velocities. The masses m1 and m2 are going to exchange their velocities. Yeah, that simply means A is going to acquire the velocity of B and B is going to acquire the velocity of A. So what is velocity of A? Velocity of A is going to be the velocity of V, and what is that? That is 3 meter per second towards right. And what is velocity of B? Velocity of B is going to be what? Final velocity of B is going to be initial velocity of A, and that is 5 meter per second. So the two masses, two equal masses, if collide elastically, they interchange their velocity. This A acquires the velocity of B and B acquires the velocity of A after collision. This is the state of affair before and this is state of affair after. Let us see it by one more example. This is body A, this is body B. If this body is moving with the velocity of 10 meter per second towards right, and this velocity, this body is at rest. So what is going to happen? They are going to exchange their velocity. They are going to exchange their velocity. That means A is going to acquire the velocity of B. This A will have the final velocity as 0 meter per second. And B will have the velocity of A. That means B will move towards right with the velocity of 10 meter per second. Velocities are exchanged. B acquires the velocity of A and A acquires the velocity of B. This is what is the meaning of exchange of velocity or interchange of velocity. Let us see it once again. Let us say we have two masses A and B. Yeah, this is moving with the velocity of say 3 meter per second towards right, and this is moving with the velocity of say 10 meter per second towards left. So what is going to happen after collision? After collision, A is going to acquire the velocity of B, and what is that? 10 meter per second towards left, and B is going to acquire the velocity of A, and that is what is 3 meter per second towards right. That means both are going to move in opposite direction. So remember, it is the velocity which is exchange. You know velocity. Velocity is a vector quantity. It has both magnitude as well as direction. So both magnitude and directions of the two velocities are interchange. That is situation number 1. In situation 2, m1 is much more greater than m2 and u2 is equal to 0. What does this mean? This simply means a very heavy mass is colliding with a light mass and light mass is at rest. m1 is much more greater than m2 means a very heavy mass is colliding with a very light mass and this lighter mass is at rest. Well, the practical situation is like a train hitting a trolley. A train is hitting a trolley. A train is hitting a trolley at rest. Yeah. So train is very heavy, much more greater than the mass of the train is much more greater than mass of the trolley, m2. And this trolley is at rest. So this is the practical situation which is mathematically written here. Since m2 is much more smaller than m1, therefore this m2 can be ignored as compared to m1. So what do we get v1 as? See, what do we get v1 as? See, if we write u2 0 here, this term becomes 0, this whole term becomes 0. And if we write m2 0, then this term becomes 0. So if we write u2 0, this whole term becomes 0 because u2 is 0. And m2 since is much more smaller than m1, therefore this m2 can be taken as what? 0. So what do we get? M2 is taken as what? 0. So what do we get? We get v1 as u1 m1 upon m1. u1 m1 upon m1. And you can see that m1 cancels out. What do we get? v1 as u1. What does this mean? This simply means the heavy mass which was moving with velocity u1 keeps moving with the velocity u1 itself. The initial velocity of heavy mass, which is u1, remains same as its final velocity. That means when train hits a trolley, the velocity of train remains unaffected. It keeps moving with whatever high speed it is moving with. But what happens to velocity v2? That is the velocity of the trolley. As usual, m2 is 0, therefore this term is going to be 0. u2 is 0, therefore this whole term is going to be 0. Because of u2 being 0, this whole term is 0. And this is already 0 because m2 is much more smaller than m1. Therefore, we get 2m1 u1 upon m1. This m1 cancels out with this m1. What do we get v2 as? We get v2 as 2 times u1. We get v2 as 2 times u1. So, what is the ultimate conclusion? If a very heavy mass collides with a very light mass at rest, so what happens? The velocity of the heavy mass, final velocity of the heavy mass is same as its initial velocity. The velocity of the train remains unaffected. But what happens to lighter mass? The lighter mass which was at rest. The lighter mass which was at rest now starts moving with the velocity that is twice the velocity of the train. That means if this is train moving with the velocity of say 100 km per hour, strikes a trolley. This is a trolley over its track. What happens? The moment this train hits the trolley, the velocity of the train remains 100 km per hour. But what happens to the velocity of the trolley? Velocity of the trolley becomes 200 km per hour immediately after collision. Initial velocity of the train is 100 km per hour. After collision, its velocity remains unaffected. It remains same as 100 km per hour. But what happens to trolley? The trolley which was at rest, all of a sudden after collision starts moving with twice the speed, twice the velocity of the train, twice the velocity of the heavy mass. Well children, in situation 3, we have a very heavy mass colliding with again a very lighter mass. m1 is much more greater than m2. and this time this heavy mass is at rest. Well, so what is happening here? This is the mathematical statement. What is the meaning of this mathematical statement? The meaning of this statement is a very heavy mass is colliding. There is a collision taking place in between a very heavy mass and light mass, and this time heavy mass is at rest. In the last situation, the heavy mass was the lighter mass was at rest. Now the heavier mass is at rest. As usual, since m2 is much more smaller than m1, therefore we can write down m2 is nearly equal to 0. And this mathematical situation can be practically visualized with the help of collision between a ball and a wall. So a ball hitting a wall. What is the mass of ball? m2, which is much more smaller than the mass of the wall, which is m1. And this wall is at rest. Wall is of course at rest, everybody knows. So a ball is hitting a wall. This is lighter mass, this is heavier mass, and this heavier mass is at rest. So what is going to happen? Let us see. Let us substitute these values here in this equation. Well, what is this V1? This V1 is going to be, let us find out. See, m2 is nearly equal to 0. Since m2 is nearly 0, therefore this term becomes what? 0. And u1 is 0. u1 is 0, When u1 is 0, this whole term becomes what? 0. This simply means the whole numerator is 0. That means v1 is going to be what? 0. What about v2? What about v2? V2 very important. v2, see, m2 is nearly 0 and u1 is 0. So u1 is 0, that means this term is going to be 0. u1 being 0 means this term is going to be 0. This term is going to be 0 because of the fact that u1 is 0. And here m2 is 0, only this term, only this m2 is 0. m2 is 0. Why do we take m2 0? Simply because m2 is much more smaller than m1. So what are we left with? Left hand side is what? In the numerator. In the numerator we have u2 and in bracket we have what? Minus m2, m1. And in the denominator we have what? m1 plus m2, m2 is 0. This is m1. You can see that m1 cancels out. m1 cancels out. This simply means what? This simply means v2 is going to be what? Minus times u2. v2 is equal to minus times u2. So what is the meaning of these results, these final velocities? See, the heavier mass m1 was at rest. Its initial velocity was 0. And what about its final velocity? Its final velocity remains 0. So there is no effect over the velocity of the heavier mass. Heavier mass was at rest, and even after collision it remains at rest. And what happens to the ball? Ball has the initial velocity u2, the lighter mass has initial velocity u2, but its final velocity is what? Minus u2. Minus means opposite direction, and v2 is equal to minus u2. That means final velocity is equal to initial velocity in magnitude and opposite in direction. This simply means ball recoils with same speed. So if there is a collision between very heavy mass and very lighter mass, and heavier mass is at rest, so there is no effect over heavier mass, whereas the lighter mass recoils, that moves in opposite direction with the same speed. This is ball that remains at rest. Initially it was at rest, and even after it is hit by the ball, it remains at rest. But what happens to the ball? Ball recoils with the same speed. So these were the three situations, and the result of all these three situations you can use directly in your numericals. Remember, in situation 1, two masses are equal, and if they collide elastically, they exchange their velocities. In situation 2, we have a collision between a very light mass and very heavy mass, and lighter mass is at rest. a train hitting a trolley. So what happens? The velocity of the heavier mass remains unaffected, whereas the velocity of the lighter mass becomes twice the velocity of the heavier mass it is struck by. And in situation 2, again there is collision between lighter mass and a very heavier mass, but in here the heavier mass is at rest. So what happens? After collision, the velocity of heavier mass, which was 0, remains 0, whereas the velocity of the lighter mass is reversed in direction. Magnitude remains same. So with this we come to the end of today's class. Thank you very much and God bless you all.